Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make a medicinal herbal tea. In this episode, we will give you a step-to-step guide to creating your own medicinal herbal tea or infusion. We're going to be going outside and we're going to harvest or collect plant material, first of all, fresh plant material. And we're going to be using yarrow on this occasion. Now, yarrow is a herb that has so many uses. One of my favourite uses for it is supporting immunity, particularly if you're susceptible to coming down with colds or flu or anything like that. It can be both protective and also curative. So it's a really useful remedy to know about from that point of view. So let's get started on this step-by-step process to teach you exactly how easy it is to make a super effective medicinal herbal tea. And we're going to start by going into the garden. So what we want is enough to fill the basket in our infuser teapot. So I reckon that's going to be about 4 good sized stalks, about a foot long or something like that. That's my estimate. Dosing in herbal medicine isn't always a precise science, but we just want to pack as much in as possible to get the strongest brew we can. In most plants that's actually going to be fine, not going to harm you at all. If it's a little bit strong, you can always dilute it a bit anyway. We can use anything above the ground. I'm not going to go right down to the ground on this one. We don't need all that much. I want to get some leaf material in here as well. So we've got 4 good size foot-long stalks of flowers. So don't be afraid to get enough of the herb in there to make it good and strong. But again, don't over harvest. Generally speaking, if you're wild harvesting, we don't want to harvest more than about 10% of what's there. I think we've got well under that here. So here we are with our fresh plant material. We've got about 4 stems of yarrow here, probably about enough to make 3 or 4 cups, which is exactly what we're going to get out of this piece of kit here. This is an infusing teapot, specifically for making herbal teas, or we call them infusions because that's what we do. We infuse the herbs in simply just off-boiled water. So it's got this little mesh in the middle here. We're going to pack the herb right into that so that it actually fills it right up to the top. Now this is fresh plant material. If you were using dried plant, it would be about half the volume that you'd need. But because we're using fresh plant, it's got a lot of the water content still in there. We need to make sure that we get enough in there to give us a really strong, effective herbal tea. So this is what we're going to use. I said this will give us about 3-4 cups maybe. And actually when we're using yarrows, we'll see later, one of the things that can be really effective is just to keep drinking it. So this might be 1 dose for 1 person, in fact. So the first thing that we have to do is to chop it up fine. It's got to go into that little space there, so it can't go in like that, so we've got to cut it up. And we're using all the aerial parts. As we said, all the parts of the plant are super effective here. There we go, bit of root travelling across the table. The leaves are okay because they're quite fine. The stalks are the bits you've got to watch out for, because any large bits of stalk, they're going to sort of take up space and possibly stick out at the top. You don't want any of that. That's why we're actually cutting it all up as fine as we possibly can. Don't worry about bruising any of it. Of course, it's going to get pretty bruised in there anyway. So we're now getting onto the flower heads here. They're the easiest bits to cut in a way. And I think that's just about it. So we want to get as much of that in there as possible. I think we might even have a little bit too much, but let's see how we go. Let me just get this out and start packing it in. Great. I think we've got about the right amount. It's fantastic. So we want to just fill this, really. And I think that's just about what we're going to do. There we go. Nice. Perfect. Okay, so let's pop that back in there. And the next thing, of course, that we need to do is boil the kettle. So, kettle's boiled, and of course we don't want to pour boiling water over this plant material, so we just let it go off for a couple of seconds or so, and now we're going to just fill up this infusing teapot. So, we want to pretty much take it up to the top here, and you can see already as we're pouring the water in, we're starting to get that sort of golden infused colour in there. So I want the herb in the infuser itself to be just covered by the water, and that's about enough. Now, the most important thing about making a medicinal herbal tea is how long we leave it there. This is not a dunk and go job, okay? We want this to infuse for a minimum of 10 minutes, and I'm going to give it 15. So here we go. This has been sitting here now for 15 minutes, so it's a nice long infusion. We could let it stand some more if we want, but actually probably we've got most of the medicinal value that we need out of this plant now. So just remains to pour it out. And the nice thing about this kind of teapot, an infusing teapot, is that we don't have to have a strainer because it's already done for us. So we're just going to pour that, a nice big mug full of that tea. You can see plenty left, another couple of mugs or more coming out of that. So you could either share this with somebody else, or if you are treating a cold or the flu, just keep it coming. Just keep topping up the mug and keep drinking it actually throughout, over the course of maybe 2 or 3 hours. And that actually is going to help you to sweat that viral illness out really quickly. So there we have it. That's how easy it is to make a super effective medicinal herbal tea. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel to be notified of other home herbal remedies that we're going to be doing for you. And I hope to see you on the next episode.